个代传人就好了，后面就没有的了，一直10000年。
没有，我神坛里面啥都没有，就神像和画画。
对呀，你其他的那些什么，他们去哪里的那些都真的，有些地方你去的多，还污染还更加严重，因为没有灵性的灌注，怕不怕的他们已经跟怕不怕已经是中断了的，很多他们是跟怕不怕中断了，他们只是在物质层面上搞东西，理解吗？他们所搞的，因为没有得到灵性的祝福嘛，他们没有得到，就是那个水管是没有接触的，现在好像有水壶在那个水管子，但是是没有纸质的，没有纸在那里，明白？没有一样嘛，说明白。水管是堵住的，它后面那些追随者，他的孤独那个水管之前就断了，明白吗？他后面自己安了一个水管，那个水管不出水，后面他的追随者是得不到。
Hare Krishna, everybody. Am I audible?
Audible, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Nice to see you all here, present. Yes, somehow
Hare
we switched.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam to everybody.
Dandavat pranam.
Yeah, switched back to 6 because, Shailesh Prabhu, he said he cannot make it. It's too difficult for him. And let's try to, somehow. And last time also everybody was late for 5:30. So let's keep it for now for 6. And if he comes at all, he said he will try to come. And then at the end we can discuss the timing again. Okay, let us just quickly summarize what we did last time. We finished the chapter 5, and in that part, last class, we heard how Hiranyakashipu attempted to kill Prahlad after Prahlad was brought second time to him. And again, he spoke about devotional service. He got so enraged, blinded by anger, that he threw Prahlad off his lap. And then he ordered his servants to kill him. And he justified killing him with a different sort of logic. Like one of the logic was if the body limb is diseased, it must be amputated, otherwise whole body will become polluted. And like that. And then they tried to kill him in a different ways. They threw him beneath the feet of elephants, amongst the huge snakes, and then some spells, black magic on him. Then they throwing him off the top of the hill, and then again some illusory trick, imprisoning him, giving him poison, starving him, exposing him to severe cold, wind, fire, water, elements, trying to crush him with the stones, and not it work. Prahlad, he survived everything without being even disturbed. So then Hiranyakashipu, he thought, I tried my best and still could not kill him. So maybe I'll be killed. maybe I shall die. So he started to fear. But then Shanda and Amarka, they kind of console him. No reason for you to be morose. Prahlad is just still a small child. And we will teach him again. Don't worry, just send him back to us. So having no other choice, Hiranyakashipu agreed, and then he sent Prahlad back to the school. So even after this attempted murder, Shanda and Marka, they continued teaching Prahlad with Dharma, Artha, and Kama. And Prahlad did not like them, as we heard, but still he was there in the class and listening. But then during the break in the school, everybody would go to play. Somehow he used the opportunity to speak to other boys, to other students. And the other children, they were very respectful to Prahlad, and they were still innocent, and that's why still not polluted. So they were receptive to hear from Prahlad. This is where the 5th chapter ends, and we read the summary of the 6th chapter. So we'll continue with the first one. Just let me quickly share my screen. Okay, Shailesh Prabhu is also here. Welcome, Shailesh Prabhu. So share the screen. All right. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we'll start with Shloka 1. Who would like to read? Let me see who is first. Only Subhadra Mataji. Can you
Prabhu.
start reading? Thank you.
Sri Prarada Uvacha Kaumara Acharit Pragyo Dharman Bhagavatan Iha Durlabham Manusam Janma Tat Api Adruvam Arthadam. Prahlad Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life, one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. Purport. The whole purpose of Vedic civilization and of reading the Vedas is to attain the perfect stage of devotional service in the human form of life. According to the Vedic system, therefore, from the very beginning of life, the brahmacharya system is introduced so that from one's very childhood, from the age of 5 years, one can practice modifying one's human activities. so as to engage perfectly in devotional service, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 2.4, chapter 2, verse 40. Swapam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Modern civilization, not referring to the verdicts of Vedic literature, is so cruel to the members of human society that instead of teaching children to become brahmacharis, it teaches mothers to kill their children even in the womb, on the play of curbing the increase of population. And if by chance a child is saved, he is educated only for sense gratification. Gradually, throughout the entire world, human society is losing interest in the perfection of life. Indeed, men are living like cats and dogs, spoiling the duration of their human lives by actually preparing to transmigrate again to the degraded species among the 8,400,000 forms of life. The Krishna consciousness movement is anxious to serve human society by teaching people to perform devotional service, which can save a human being from being degraded again to animal life. As already stated by Prahlad Maharaj, Bhagavata Dharma consists of Shravana Kirtanam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam in all the schools, colleges, and universities, and at home. All children and youths should be taught to hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, they should be taught to hear the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, to put them into practice in their lives, and thus to become strong in devotional service, free from fear of being degraded to animal life. Following Bhagavad Gita Dharma, Bhagavata Dharma, Bhagavad Dharma has been made extremely easy in this age of Kali. The Shastra says, Harir Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nast Eva Gatir Anyatha. One need only chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Everyone engaged in the practice of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra will be completely cleansed from the core of his heart and be saved from the cycle of birth and death. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The 6th chapter, Prahlad teaches the boys bhakti. Enlightened, they gave up attachment to body and home. At the end of the last chapter, it was mentioned that Prahlad was compassionate and friendly. What did he tell the boys? That is explained now. At Kaumar age, one should practice dharma. But in youth, a person is unqualified for Varna Ashram Dharma. This is related to the Lord, hearing and chanting. In the land of Bharat, Iha, but a person will successfully starting during Yavana. The wise person, Pragya, understands that perhaps he will die at the end of Kaumar age, and thus his life would be waste. But why worry? In a future life, one can practice bhakti. Birth as a human is rare. One attains human form by good fortune, and it is transient. Though you exist today, it is not certain you will exist tomorrow. How can bhakti be perfected in such a short time? Human birth is effective arthadam. One sees that Katwanga and others achieve success having bhakti for only a few moments.
Okay, here Bhagavad Dharma is mentioned in contrast to Varnashrama Dharma, and Vishwanath Thakur mentions here that at young age, when one is a child, he's unqualified for Varnashrama Dharma. Means, child is not really equipped to perform all the duties of different varnas and ashramas, because he hasn't received all the sanskaras, he hasn't learned everything. It takes time until he learns his occupational duty. But there is no prohibition of performing Bhagavad Dharma even at a very young age. Even if he's just 5 years old, like Prahlad, there is absolutely no obstacle that he engages in pure devotional service. That's why this verse that Prabhupada quotes so much in different purpose. Maybe this is one of the most quoted verses by Prabhupada that from the very beginning of life, from tender age of childhood, one should practice devotional service. Because if we wait for the old age, we might miss the train. And generally people, at least in India, they think, well, yeah, let me now earn money and secure myself in this world. And once I retire, it'll be enough time and then I will do devotional service. But it just doesn't work like this. Once you are old, and it's very difficult to change anything. That's why most of the people you see that are joining Krishna consciousness movement, they're mostly young people, because at that age, person can be molded, can change his ways and adopt new things. Of course, here and there, some older persons also join, some those who are fortunate. But the point is that from whatever age, but earlier, the better. Earlier, the better. Yeah, this is some thoughts that the human life is very rare, and one should not risk and postpone for later, because there is no guarantee. Even if you are young, there is no guarantee how long we will live. You know, even children die, even young people nowadays die. There is something called syndrome of sudden death. You know, and I saw a compilation of sudden deaths on a soccer fields, different, you know, soccer players in the last couple of years just falling and dying during the football match on a field. People in their 20s or 30s. So there is no guarantee, and we should get serious as soon as possible in whatever stage we are. But generally, children, yeah, they're not very interested when they're small, because they don't understand very much. But those who are wise, like Prahlad, yeah, they understand that it's great urgency. There is a great urgency to start devotional service as soon as possible. Anybody has any thoughts on this? If not, we can...
Prabhuji, I want to ask something. It hasn't
Yes.
to directly to do with this, but I was wondering, when a devotee is not liberated, means not going yet to Krishna back, and when he or she died, then who is coming to take that person, that devotee? Because normally Yamraj comes, but when a devotee is not going yet back to Krishna, so then he take rebirth at the devotee's house or something, but what I have understood. But then I am asking, then he's also Yamraj, Dud of Yamraj is coming, or how is it?
No. For devotee, Yamaraj does not come. You just get another birth and you continue wherever you stop. When if you're not perfect, you have to take another birth, and it might be a devotee family or non-devotee family. Depends what were our actions during our lifetime. Even as a devotee, sometimes, you know, one can commit some sinful activities, and that's why can be born in a non-devotee family, although he was a devotee in previous life. But by Krishna's grace, he will get in touch with devotees again, and he will continue immediately. You know, he will catch up where he stopped. And if he was pious plus devotional in previous life, he will be born in devotee family, and then he will get more opportunity to continue. It will be easier for him to continue. So yeah, nobody has to come. Even Guru, we have this conception, Guru Maharaj comes and he pulls you for the hair. This is something symbolic to illustrate that he comes. If he would need to come for all thousands and hundreds of thousands to take you, it's not a physical thing that somebody is taking you. No, you are shifted automatically by the Yoga Maya potency. If one is liberated, that means immediately in a matter of seconds he is transferred to Gokula, Vrindavan, where Krishna in this universe now performs his pastimes. Immediately he is by Yoga Maya transferred and he is born in a womb of a gopi in a Vrindavan in this universe where Krishna presently performs his pastimes. And then from there he has opportunity to associate with the Nitya Siddha Rajvasis, gopis and other cowherds and to perfect his devotional service. This is for those who achieved bhava and prema. And those who are, still an anartha-nivritti, they have to take birth again and to continue, but they'll get a chance, they'll get in touch with devotees, whether they're born in devotee families or not, they will get in touch with devotees and they'll continue their devotional service. But they have to go to the stages, they have to pass anartha-nivritti, they have to come to nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhava, and prema. And then only when they're at prema, they're transferred to Vrindavan where Krishna performs pastimes.
So
And that's
this
all, of
means
course, happening by mercy of Guru and Gauranga. But it doesn't mean that Guru is coming and pulling you physically. Yes.
So it means that you are just automatically transferred to a womb like that.
The Lord's energy is just, it's acting automatically. You don't need to go to Yamarad, you don't need to go here and there, explain anything. You are just automatically, by Lord's arrangement, the Lord's energy, you are transferred where you're supposed to be born, whether it's in this world or in Krishna's Lila. I mean, I think Bhagavata Vicara, Gop Kumar, he also in a matter of seconds, he was transferred from one realm to another realm, and eventually, he was transferred to Goloka beyond this material world. So it's not that he needed to go and explain to Yamaraj or anybody else. The Lord energy works so perfectly that it just instantly happens without any mistakes.
So
but
then,
yeah.
Beside this Gokumar story, is there another reference where you can find this? That the devotees are just transferred to another birth?
I can't remember now exactly where. Probably in some commentary, some acharyas would mention Vishnu Chakravarti for sure. But I cannot tell exactly where. Maybe even the Bhagavatam in a 10th canto, possibly in the commentaries. It is there, but it is clear. Nothing is really controversial here. You're just transferred. It's not the same with those who go to Vaikuntha. This is also the difference. Those who go to Vaikuntha, then Vishnu Dutas come on a Vimana and they take you. And then you go to Vaikuntha. But for us who have Vrindavan, especially Goloka Vrindavan is our aim, there are no Vishnu Dutas. The Yoga Maya potency of the Lord transfers us directly to the womb of a gopi in Vrindavan. If we are going to end there, that's also questionable. Doesn't mean that just one is an ISKCON and immediately he'll go to Goloka Vrindavan. It depends on your aspirations, on your desires, and depends, on your Istadevata, whom you actually worship and whom you want to worship, and also the type of worship you perform. For example, some devotees, all of the ISKCON devotees and Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they're so much attached to Lord Nrsimhadev, they just love Nrsimhadev, everything about Nrsimhadev. This is nice, this is great. But to be clear, once they become perfect, they go to Lord Nrsimhadev. It's not that they go to the form of the Lord. They they absorb in, they love, and it's natural. Why would you go to Krishna if you all the time think about Lord Nrsimhadev or some other devotees that just love Lord Ramachandra? All right, you go to Ayodhya. Why would you go to Vrindavan? Only those who are, absorbed exclusive in Krishna, and depends again which Krishna, because there's a Mathura Krishna, Dwaraka Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna. Even those who go to Vrindavan sometimes may go to the part of Goloka Vrindavan where the opulence is predominant, where Krishna is married with Radharani, where there is a Swakya rasa. That happens if one has the aim to achieve Krishna, but he worships the Lord on the path of Vaidhi, which is mixed with the Raganuga. Vaidhi and Raganuga mix lead you to part of Vrindavan, which is not original Vrindavan, but it's a part where Radha and Krishna are married, and all the gopis are married to Krishna, and there are no these parakya pastimes. Only if one worships Krishna and Radha exclusively on the part of Raga, he goes to original Goloka Vrindavan. This is and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami explains this in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So it depends, what our goal is and the method of worship we perform. But in any case, one has to become perfect, whether on the path of Vaidhi, Raganuga, mixed Vaidhi and Raganuga, one has to reach Bhava and Prema. Only then he can go. Before that, he's given another chance. Sometimes it's a 2, 3, 4 lifetimes. And that's not also too much in a span of eternity, how long we've been in this material world. Then comparing to that 2 or 3 more lifetimes, it's not really a big deal. So one should not be discouraged if he doesn't attain perfection immediately. Yeah, of course, it's possible in one lifetime, but it's difficult. If somebody comes and he's completely covered, it's difficult. First, just to uncover all that hardness, to come from Tama's going a little bit to Rajas and Sattva, it might take whole lifetime. But if somebody is really, determined and sincere, he can do it in one lifetime. So it's all individual. There are no hard and fast rules. Okay, is there anything on this?
Just Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, I missed your last 2 classes. Thank you. I've caught up with you listening to classes. Just a quick tip to enhance your point earlier. There are actually references in the Bhagavatam, obviously, to devotees who are transferring from one life to another form. You have Bharat Maharaj, you have Maharaj, you have quite a lot, Jamil. I think we have, who else do we have? So there are many examples, and none of those does it talk about Yamadutas or...
yeah, but I think she was asking directly to spiritual world, the transfer to the spiritual world. She was, as I understood. But that's, yeah.
Yeah, so I was just saying that as you were rightly saying, that you get transferred to your next position by the arrangement of Krishna. It doesn't need a Vishnu Dutta or a Yamaduta to intervene, I presume, because it doesn't mention anything on the Bhagavatam like that either.
Yeah, I read it somewhere. I cannot remember exactly where, but Semacharya's comment, I think Vishnu Thakur comments in a 10th canto somewhere that, yeah, for the going to Krishna, to Vrindavan, you don't need Vishnu Dutas. You're just transferred by the Yoga Maya potency directly in the womb of a gopi. I remember this being written by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, but I just cannot recall exactly where. Mother, do you want to say something?
Yes. Just Prabhu was saying some examples. In which of the canto you can remember, Prabhu? Except the 10th.
Yeah, there's, you've got Bharat Maharaj's story, you have Indra Swami's story, Chitraguta's stories. They're spread all over the Bhagavatam.
Yes, I have read this, yes.
There's plenty of examples, but all I was saying is to enhance Prabhu's comments that you don't need the via medium. If you're a devotee, Krishna will make arrangements directly
Yes.
for your next position, be it within this material world or be it within the spiritual world. Clearly, if you're going to Vaikuntha, I guess you have a Vishnu Dutta coming to collect you. But if you're going to Golok, then Krishna makes direct arrangements for, because you don't go directly anyway. You go to an intermediate training planet, isn't it, Prabhu?
Yeah, you go to the universe where Krishna is now performing his pastimes in this material world. So Krishna's pastimes in material world are also eternal. So somewhere in this universe, at the moment, Krishna's pastimes are going on. So you are transferred by the potency of Yoga Maya directly to that universe and directly to the womb of Gopi in that Vrindavan, on earth, on a Bauma Vrindavan. And then you're born there, and then you take training with the Nityasiddha Gopis. Yeah, that's correct. Thank you, Prabhu. That we don't really need somebody to take us. It's Lord's energy, the Yoga Maya, who is transferring one. Even from in this material world, you don't need somebody to come and grab you and take you from one body to another. It's Lord's energy that is doing this. But yeah, in the cases of Vaikuntha, I don't know, is it obligatory for Vishnu Dutas to come to take you? But there is a story I remember. Tukaram, if you read the Tukaram story, for example, the Vimana, Vishnu Dutas came. But even in
Yes.
even in the Bhagavatam, for Dhruva Maharaj, Vishnu Dutas came. And he entered in the very same body, in the Vimana, and his mother also with him in another Vimana. This is one example that I remember of somebody going to the spiritual world that is mentioned in the Bhagavatam directly. And then, of course, Pandavas, they went in the very same bodies. Although in Mahabharata it's described that they went to Swarga, but actually the Swarga was just a stop station, but they continued to Dwaraka, eternal Dwaraka, in Goloka Vrindavan, and Krishna performs these pastimes. So even in the very same bodies, devotees can go if they wish. The others, like Sudama Brahmana, well, he had an old and skinny body, and then by the mercy of Krishna, even while he was still here, that body was transformed into a young and attractive body, and then in that body he went back. So like this, yeah, we don't really need a vehicle or a train or airplane. All right, so let us go to the
Prabhu,
yes, Mataji.
you say that Yoga Maya will transfer the soul ready to Boma Vrindavan. Where is it from? This?
Where is this from? From many places, but what I remember, it was for some commentaries of Vishnu Chakri Thakur in the 10th canto, most likely, and could be in other places. It's some common fact in not in one place only, but it's Yoga Maya who is doing this.
Okay, thank you. And what about those a soul can transfer to higher planet system, and then who transfer this? Yamaraj?
Well, the agents in this material universe who are responsible for these different sort of demigods, whoever is responsible for shifting the souls from one body to another, it's I don't remember exactly where it's mentioned who is doing the technicalities of this, but it's done automatically. Do any of us remember how we left our previous body and how all of a sudden we are in this body? One day, you just die and then you're unconscious for quite some time. And then after some, 9 months or whatever the period is, you wake up crying somewhere, and then you're asking, and you forgot everything, and you're asking yourself, oh, where I am. So how this transfer happened? It happened by the arrangement of Lord's energy. In this case, you can call it Mahamaya. Yoga Maya and Mahamaya in one sense is not different. They're Lord's energy. So we are transferred by the higher arrangement, by the Daiva, by the higher arrangement of the Lord's agents, whoever they are, Lord's energies.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, let us read. Who's next? Danashi Mataji, can you please continue reading? You're there? Hare Krishna, Danashi Mataji? Looks like she's not there. Okay, then Chatura Mataji is next.
Okay. Text 2, yeah?
The text 2, yes.
I am here, Prabhu. I could not.
Oh, you're here. Okay, you
am-
please read. Okay, read.
Okay, Mataji, you read?
Yeah. You want to go, Mataji? Okay, you go. I can give you my turn.
No.
Okay. Yatahi Purushaya Vishnu Padopasa Parnam Yadesa Sarva Bhutanam Priya Atmashvara Suit. The human form of life affords one a chance to return home, back to Godhead. Therefore, every living entity, especially in the human form of life, must engage in devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. This devotional service is natural because Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the most beloved, the master of the soul, and the well-wisher of all other living beings. Purport. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 5.29, Bhaktoram yagna tapasam sarva lokama eshvaram sudam subidam sarva bhutanam yanamam santim vikshati. The sages, knowing me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor of and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries, simply by understanding these three facts: that the Supreme Lord, Vishnu, is the proprietor of the entire creation, that he is the best well-wishing friend of all living entities, and that he is the best, and that he is the supreme enjoyer of everything. One becomes peaceful and happy. For this transcendental happiness, the living entity has wandered throughout the universe in different forms of life and different planetary systems. But because he has forgotten his intimate relationship with Vishnu, he has merely suffered life after life. Therefore, the educational system in the human form of life should be so perfect that one will understand this intimate relationship with God or Vishnu. Every living entity has an intimate relationship with God. One should therefore glorify the Lord in the adoration of Santaras, or revive his eternal relationship with Vishnu as a servant in Dasyaras, a friend in Sakyaras, a parent in Vatsyalaras, or a conjugal lover in Madhuryaras. All these relationships are on the platform of love. Vishnu is the center of love for everyone, and therefore the duty of everyone is to engage in the loving service of the Lord. As stated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srimad Bhagavatam 3.25.38, Yesham aham priya atma sutascha sakam guru subido daivam istam. In any form of life, we are related with Vishnu, who is the most beloved, the super soul, son, friend, and guru. our eternal relationship with God can be revived in the human form of life, and that should be the goal of education. Indeed, that is the perfection of life and the perfection of education. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, 7.62. How should one practice Bhagavad Dharma? One should perform it by the method which enable one to attain surrender to the lotus feet of Vishnu. Vishnu is described in order to indicate 4 different methods. Nakarichin Matpara Santarup, Nanshanti Nomi Nimisoedi Eti, Yesham Aham Priya Atma Sutascha, Sakaguru Suido Devamistam. The devotees in the spiritual world are deprived of any enjoyment. My wheel of time does not afflict those different for whom I am a lover, the Atma, son, friend, elder, companion, or worshipable deity. Srimad Bhagavatam 3.25.338. Thus, among the bhavas of Madhurya Priya, Santarati, Atma, Dasya, Ishvara, or Sakya Surit, one should surrender to the Lord by whichever bhav one desires. Thus, it is said that one should perform Bhagavad Dharman. One should perform these dharmas. This is an order for performance of Raga Bhakti. Prahlad has also taught the 5th bhav called Vatsalya by taking another meaning in the word Atma, since Atma can mean son, one's own.
So here there is relationship, different races, and Krishna Chaitanya says here, whichever bhava one desires. So it has to come, from you. What kind of relationship you would like to have with Krishna? Sometimes we say, well, we just have to discover. Yeah, that can be also true, but there is some controversy in Gaudiya word Veda, the swarup of the jiva, the rasa of the jiva is inherent. That means that it's always there, that it's predetermined, or whether it's inherited, means that you acquire through association with a certain type of bhaktas. With Madhurya bhaktas, you develop, if you associate with Madhurya bhaktas, you develop desire for Madhurya, or you associate with the Dasya bhaktas, you develop desire for Dasya. So there is some ambiguity there. But whatever the case is, one has to desire to have that particular relationship with Krishna, and then he follows the method that is appropriate for that. For Dasya rasa, it's definitely by the bhakti, but for other higher rasas, raga nuga bhakti is necessary. Here he mentions order for performance of raga bhakti. But in all these cases, the dasya is the root rasa that is present in all other rasas. Jivera Swarupa Hoy Nitya Krishna Das. This is the generic rasa that is present in higher rasas as well. Because those who are in Madhurya rasa, they also serve. They are also servants, but in Madhurya rasa. Those who are in Sakya rasa, they also serve Krishna. The constitutional position of Jiva is servitude, even if it's expressed externally as a friendship or conjugal love or vatsalya, parenthood. And sometimes there are cases, inverse. For example, vatsalya rasa could be inverse vatsalya rasa. Like I think in Prahlad's case, although he's in dasya rasa, but sometimes devotee looks at the Lord as his parent, as the parent. The Lord is the father, and I'm the son. And then what? What is the destination of such a person? Well, you know, Krishna had children in Dwaraka. You know, Pradyumna, Samba, and all the sons of different queens. So if one really desires so, you know, he can also have that parental relationship where the Lord is the father and he is the son. And then he'll go to Dwaraka and become associate of one of these original sons of Lord Krishna, of Pradyumna, of Samba, of Aniruddha, of whomever he likes. Yeah, and if one wants to, for example, be in conjugal rasa, but he worships, I was just reading this in Bhagavata in the Rupa Goswami mentions, if one has desire to have a Krishna as his lover, but he worships on a part of Vaidhi, which is mixed with Raganuga, then he goes to Dwaraka to become associate of one of the Krishna's queen in Dwaraka. So all sorts of positions are there available in the spiritual world, but our desire, our aspiration is something that will very much determine our final destination. So we have to develop some desires. We need to, you know, get some desire first to have a desire to have a relationship with Krishna, and then to start contemplating what kind of relationship is. Okay, in the beginning, it's just generic dasya, generic servitude for everybody. But then later, if as one is advancing, as one is making progress, that generic servitude desire has to mature and crystallize in a more focused direction. Okay, I want to serve, but I want to serve like this or like that, like a cowherd boys, or like a gopis, or like a Mother Yashoda, or in which way I want to serve. And then these aspirations, these spiritual desires for a particular relationship will come at a certain level of spiritual progress. Okay, anybody has anything on this?
Prabhu, is it possible to ask a question?
Yes, please, sure.
While reading the chapter, I was a little confused. What is it? How can you explain the difference between Vishnu, Krishna, Narayana? Is it possible? How can we explain the difference?
The difference between Krishna, Vishnu, and Narayan. Well, Krishna is one Bhagavan. He is the original supreme personality of Godhead. He is Akilara Samrita Murti, meaning that all the rasas and relationship are present only in him. And then Krishna expands, you know, he expands first as Baladev, and then Lord Balaram, he expands further. And then Vishnu and Narayan expansions that are present in the Vaikuntha planets come from Balaram, and they are basically, you know, expansions of Krishna that do not have exactly all the qualities that Krishna has, but they are partial expansions. They are not 100% Krishna. So Vishnu on Vaikuntha, for example, it's a different mood. It's all in reverence, and then there are, you know, thousands of goddesses of fortune there, and all those who worship and serve Vishnu, Narayan, and Vaikuntha planets there in the Dasya Rasa. They worship the Lord with that mood of awe and reverence, and the relationship is not that intimate and close as it is with Krishna on Goloka Vrindavan, where there is a much broader variety of relationships and intimacy that is possible. Yeah, there is no conjugal relationship with Vishnu, or parental relationship with Vishnu, or Sakhya Rasa with Vishnu. is not possible. You know, the Lord is only the master, and you're the servant, and you adore and worship him and serve him. This is the only relationship that is possible in Vaikuntha. But in Goloka Vrindavan with Krishna, you can have any of the 4 or 5 relationships. So the difference is that Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all Vishnu and Narayan expansions at different Vaikuntha planets are his partial expansions, partial manifestations that carry only part of his qualities. I think in Nectar Devotion it was described that you know, Krishna has all 64 qualities, and the Vishnus in Vaikunthas, they have, as I remember, 60, whatever the percentage was there. And then Lord Shiva, he has, you know, 55 qualities, and ordinary jivas and Lord Brahma, they can have 50 out of 64 qualities in minute qualities. Okay. But yeah, Vishnu and Narayan, they are Vishnu Tattva, that means they're God. You know, they're God, they're just partial expansions of the original person, Adipurusha Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. It's clear for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so I think Chatura Mataji, the next one.
Prabhu, can I just say also,
Yes.
I think
Okay.
many times Krishna is also sometimes referred to as Vishnu. It's quite interchangeable. Like for instance, in the Tulsi Puja, we say Vishnu Bhakti Pradadevi, but she's clearly referring to Krishna because she refers to the pastimes and when the destination being Golok. So I think it's sometimes interchangeable, but it's all. I think reference to Vishnu. It's needs to be looked at the context of the Bhakta saying it, I think.
Yes, it's correct. Yeah, it's the same person, just in different edition. You can say that Vishnu is edition of Krishna. It's one outfit that Krishna wears. So yeah, Vishnu, actually in the mantra of Tulsi, the Vishnu somehow is the Vishnu Bhakti is the original. Although we aspire for Krishna Bhakti, so sometimes the word is changed it to Krishna Bhakti, but originally it was written as Vishnu Bhakti, but it's meant Krishna, you know. It's you know, Vishnu is contained in Krishna. Vishnu Bhakti is there in Krishna, and more because Krishna has more qualities than Vishnu. All right, Chatura Mataji.
Yeah. Srimad Bhagavatam text, Canto 7, Chapter 6, Text 3. Shukam Injaya Kam Deta De Her Yogena De Hinam Savachala Vyate Deva Yatha Dukam Mayatnataha. Translation. Prahlad Maharaj continued, my dear friends, born of demonic families, the happiness perceived with reference to the sense objects by contact with the body can be attained in any form of life. According to one's past fruity activities, such happiness is automatically attained without endeavor, just as we attain distress. Purport. In the material world, in any form of life, there is some so-called happiness and so-called distress. No one invites distress in order to suffer, but still it comes Similarly, even if we do not endeavor to attain the advantages of material happiness, we shall attain them automatically. This happiness and distress are attainable in any form of life without endeavor. Thus, there is no need to waste time and energy fighting against distress or working very hard for happiness. Our only business in the human form of life should be to revive our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus become qualified to return home back to Godhead. Material happiness and distress come as soon as we accept a material body, regardless of what form. We cannot avoid such happiness and distress under any circumstances. The best use of human life, therefore, lies in reviving our relationship with the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur. Having attained a human form, one should not endeavor for material happiness. Happiness and distress are the qualities of the body. Thus, by attaining a body, one attains both of these. Sarvacha means in animal and other bodies.
This means as soon as you're born in a certain body, your happiness and distress that you are going to enjoy in this lifetime is predetermined. That's why when one looks at your birth chart, if he's good astrologer, he can see what you're going to enjoy, how much you're going to enjoy, and what you're going to suffer, and how much you're going to suffer. It's already, it's already fixed. So what is the point of trying to acquire more happiness and to avoid distress? You cannot change it. It's coming with the body, and body you already got. It's a prarabdha karma. It's karma that is already manifested, and that karma is practically impossible to change. Of course, nothing is impossible. So if one chants, Shuddhanam, pure holy name of Krishna, he can be saved by some terrible karma by Krishna's grace. The holy name can relieve even prarabdha karma. But of course, we don't expect, now if somebody has some genetic, disease or the body is already, in the particular state, and he's just born like this, you don't expect now that just by becoming a devotee and chanting Hare Krishna, you're going to completely, change your manifested body. No, the prarabdha karma generally stays there. What you can change is the karma that has not been manifested yet. So this is different stages of manifestation of karma, from aprarabdha, bija, kuta to prarabdha. So we can change those karmas that have not been manifested, and that are going to take to become manifest in the next lifetime. So with our actions in this present lifetime, we can change our future birth and our future happiness in distress. But the happiness in distress that we are going to enjoy in this lifetime, it's not, it's generally not possible to change, and one should not then bother and waste time trying to fix something that cannot be fixed. It just comes naturally with the body. So better to engage one's time in becoming Krishna conscious and making spiritual advancement. Then everything else will automatically follow. All right. If anybody has anything, otherwise we'll continue with the next. I think it's Shailesh Prabhu now's turn.
Hare Krishna. I apologize in advance for torturing the devotees with my bad Sanskrit. So,
No problem.
text 4. Tat prayaso na kartavyo yatra ayur vayaya param na tatha vindate kshnamam mukunda charanam bhujam. Endeavors merely for sense gratification or material happiness through economic development are not to be performed, for they result only in a loss of time and energy with no actual profit. If one's endeavors are directed towards Krishna consciousness, one can surely attain the spiritual platform of self-realization. There is no such benefit from engaging oneself in economic development. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. We see materialistic persons busily engaged in economic development all day and all night, trying to increase their material opulence. But even if we suppose that they get some benefit from such endeavors, that does not solve the real problem of their lives. Nor do they know what the real problem of life is. This is due to a lack of spiritual education. Especially in the present age, every man is in darkness, in the bodily conception of life, not knowing anything of the spiritual soul and its needs. Misguided by the blind leaders of society, people consider the body to be everything, and they are engaged in trying to keep the body materially comfortable. Such a civilization is condemned because it does not lead humanity towards knowing the real goal of life. People are simply wasting time and the valuable gift of the human form because a human being who does not cultivate spiritual life but dies like the cats and dogs is degraded in his next life. From human life, such a person is put into a cycle of continuous birth and death. Thus one loses the true benefit of human life, which is to become Krishna conscious and solve life's problems. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur 7.6.4. By that method, Tata, one does not gain benefit. One gains benefit from worshipping the lotus feet of Mukunda.
So sometimes, we hear these stories from rags to riches, how some, billionaire start working when he was young, and then he built an empire. And now he has, private jets and God knows what. Those people like Steve Jobs who passed away, or Bill Gates, or this one or that one, how they started without much money, and now they possess half of the world. So it's a kind of proof. It's a proof you can make it, and then people they get hooked. Yeah, if he could do it, why not me? Let me try to work hard and somehow become rich. But actually, even those people who became rich, it seems like it's just because of their endeavor, but actually it was their karma. They earned it in a previous life, and they work something, in this lifetime, but that was also part of their karma, that that they got the right idea. The Gates, he got the idea for Microsoft Windows or whatever he got, and that made him rich, or Steve Jobs for Apple, or this or that. That's also part of a karma. It's not that these ideas they pop out in the mind out of blue. No, they're given to them just because they earn it in the previous life, and then it looks like, oh, it's their intelligence that did it in this life. That's why this is how they became rich. No, it's a product of their pious activities in previous lives. So the artha, economic development, doesn't come on its own. It comes as the result of following dharma. So that means one performs pious activities, and then as the result, economic development naturally follows. America became one of the, the most prosperous countries in at the beginning of 20th century. Started rising up. But how was it? Because in the previous century, in the 19th century, most of the people who lived at that time, they were kind of pious Christians, and they were, going to church and, performing something religious. And as the result of that religiousness, the country and the people born in that country prospered. And it's going on the basis of this previous life credit. And now the people who are in this life doing impious activities, they're just sliding the country and the future generations to the hellish life. If the most of the people are performing, horrible activities which have nothing to do with Dharma, then you cannot expect, great fortune for the country. So the whole point is to focus one's time and energy on spiritual life instead of trying to change one's material position. Does anybody else has any thoughts or questions on this? Karma is very tricky. No such benefit from engaging oneself in economic development. So this is, complete discouragement of all, economic endeavors, which is in complete opposition to modern way of thinking and to what is being taught in all the schools. In India, there is great competition amongst the college students who will be better, who will become the topper, because that will guarantee you that you get a good job and that you'll earn good money. So everybody is working very, very hard, even from such a young age, from already, from age of 10 or before. They're studying very hard in order to secure the prosperous life in the future. But of course, it's such a big country. There's so many millions and hundreds of millions of children who are competing. Not everybody can be the best, and those who are not that bright, then they don't secure such good fortune. But this is again part of their karma, because intelligence given to them in this lifetime is part of the karma of the previous life. So it's better to perform dharma, or even better to perform Bhagavad Dharma, devotional service. But those who are not interested in devotional service, Bhagavad Dharma, at least they should perform pious activities in the form of Dharma, meaning Varnashrama Dharma, like planting trees, and protecting cows and doing other pious activities, giving charity. Okay, so I'll read now. Tata yatita kusala kshemaya bhavam ashrita shariram parusham yavan navipadyeta pushkalam. Therefore, while in material existence, bhavam ashrita, a person fully competent to distinguish wrong from right, must endeavor to achieve the highest goal of life as long as the body is stout and strong and is not embarrassed by dwindling. As stated by Prahlad Maharaj at the beginning of this chapter, Komar Acharet Pragya. The word Pragya refers to one who is experienced and who can distinguish right from wrong. Such a person should not waste his energy in variable human lifetime simply working like a cat or dog to develop his economic condition. For one word, in this verse, there are two readings, Bhavam Ashrita and Bhayam Ashrita, but accepting the meaning of either of them will bring one to the same conclusion. Bhayam Ashrita indicates that the materialistic way of life is always fearful because at every step there is a danger. Materialistic life is full of anxieties and fear, bhayam. Similarly, accepting the reading bhavam ashrita, the word bhavam refers to unnecessary trouble and problems. For want of Krishna consciousness, one is put into bhavam, being perpetually embarrassed by birth, death, old age, and disease. Thus one is surely full of anxieties. Human society should be divided into a social system of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, but everyone can engage in devotional service. If one wants to live without devotional service, his status as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra certainly has no meaning. It is said, Sthanat Brashta Patantyada. Whether one is in a higher or lower division, one certainly falls down for want of Krishna consciousness. A sane man, therefore, is always fearful of falling from his position. This is a regulative principle. One should not fall from his exalted position. The highest goal of life can be achieved as long as one's body is stout and strong. We should therefore live in such a way that we keep ourselves always healthy and strong in mind and intelligence, so that we can distinguish the goal of life from a life full of problems. A thoughtful man must act in this way, learning to distinguish right from wrong and thus attain the goal of life. So interesting thing here that, Prabhupada is saying that we should live in such a way to be always healthy and strong, both in body, in mind and intelligence. It doesn't say body, strong in mind and intelligence. But generally, mind and intelligence, mind is strong when the body is in good condition. Once you are sick, the mind also naturally, generally, tends to become weak because you're tortured by bodily pain. So that's why sometimes it's mentioned, what should we take care of? And they say sadhana, no, the health first, then sadhana, then service. Meaning if you're in good health, then you can perform sadhana, you can chant your rounds, attend temple program, and so on. And then after that, you can perform various other services. But if you're not in good health, if you're sick, you're just lying in bed, you cannot chant, you cannot do anything, what to speak about service. So that's why keeping body and mind in a healthy position is also part of devotional service, one can say. But of course, there are many people who are into health and they spend so much time to maintain their body healthy, but they perform no devotional service. No, this is only for the purpose that one performs the devotional service afterwards. Otherwise, if one just does everything to be healthy, and then after that he does nothing else, then it's again useless. So it's only in the function of devotional service to be healthy. Yeah, health fads also. Some devotees have tendency, to follow all the newest and health fads. What else here? Bhavam Ashrita, Bhayam Ashrita. Yeah, when one is old, he's embarrassed because the body is dwindling, and it's difficult to focus at that time and to absorb the mind in devotional service. So that's why it's advised to do it before. from the young age, or from the middle age, or from whatever age we are in, while we still can perform devotional service, where the mind is still peaceful, and we should focus it on Krishna consciousness. And then later, when the body is not anymore in such good condition, if one practice training his mind to think of Krishna, then he'll be able to think of Krishna even when he is in a diseased, difficult condition. Even if he's in that bad, if his mind already became absorbed in Krishna, then he has no problem actually, Prabhupada was in such difficult condition at the end of his life, but he was fully Krishna conscious till the last moment. He didn't really, he was not on a bodily platform screaming from pain, and he didn't take any actually painkillers. Some people, most of the other people, they would scream from pain. But no, his consciousness was not in the body, so he could tolerate. But yeah, his consciousness was, pure Krishna consciousness. So, and he exhibited that past and going through this to basically teach all of us, all the future generation of devotees, that this is, don't think, he said, don't think that this is not waiting for you. It's going to come for all of us. We'll all get old, we'll all get sick, and we'll all one day lay on a deathbed. And what are we going to do at that moment? If we have not trained our mind to be absorbed in Krishna, then at that moment it will be too late. Once we are on the deathbed, then it will not be possible anymore. There will be so much inconvenience by bodily pains that we won't be able to think of anything, So better start, training the mind now, absorbing it in Krishna now, and learn the art of being always absorbed in Krishna. Then it will be easy when difficult times come. Okay. If nobody has anything else, I think we can.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you
Yes.
for all this explanation, because I am going through something difficult on the health mat condition. So it's a very interesting what you just said a while ago. I appreciate.
Are you experiencing some difficult condition?
Yes, yeah, I am going through something difficult, but I hear you said that it's important to have a good state of mind, but not only that, because the state of mind depends if you also if you are accustomed to go to the temple also. I am wondering which energy is better. First, or go to the temple first. It's difficult to choose exactly. You said health first, but also we have to, the energy from the temple help you also.
Yeah, you can say it helps you, definitely. I mean, and health, you can take care about the health also a little later. If the temple program is helping you, yeah, definitely you should do it. And then once you come back from the temple, you can take care of the health.
One doesn't go without the other. They are interrelated.
Yeah, they're interrelated. So, but it's in fact the health is in a function of devotional service. It's just something that is supposed to support devotional service. Not the devotional service is supposed to support the health, although devotional service does support the health. But the Krishna consciousness is the main part here. So whatever is favorable, that's why Rupa Goswami say Anukul Krishna, whatever is favorable for devotional service, and good health is favorable devotional service. Bad health is not really favorable, but if you became already advanced, then you can tolerate bad health. Otherwise, it will be difficult. So you see what is best for you, and what kind of sadhana is the best, whether chanting first or going to the temple first, or you see whatever helps you the most. It's individual. You have to see for yourself what works best for you in your particular situation. Some people are just, it's difficult for them, to get up very early because of this or that. Okay, then get up whenever you want, whenever you can. Earlier the better, of course. But if you just cannot, then what to do? Get up and take japa and chant, or do something. So there are no hard and fast rules for everybody. So see, yeah, whatever you can do, that to balance the health and
sadhana.
your practice in sadhana, yeah.
Okay.
So you're the only one who can actually see, because it's affecting you. Others from outside, they may not, perceive and tell you exactly. Yeah, just common sense. Just use the common sense, nothing else.
Yes. Okay. Thank
All
you.
right, let us.
Can I just
Yes.
help
Please,
out?
please.
If Mataji, if it helps you, we've been through some fairly testing periods as well. My son was diagnosed with leukemia and was told that we have less than 0.5% chance of his survival. That was 15 years ago now, but he's survived. But we went through, and there was the whole psychological devotional surrender process is a very if you can share, whether it's discreetly or whether it's with some, if you can get other devotees to help you and pray for you, there's nothing more powerful than prayer of other devotees. Is more powerful of other people's prayers for you than your own prayers.
Okay.
But if there's anything I can help with the experience we've been through, I'm more than happy to talk to you privately or whatever you prefer. So we're all here for you if you need anything from us.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you very much. It's very nice to hear that, because I don't know the cause really, but I don't want also to take the time for Prabhu and speak about my spiritual problem, but I will get in touch with you. Yes, okay. Okay,
Yeah, definitely. Prabhupada also mentioned the best medicine might not help if there is no grace of God. So Krishna's grace and grace of devotees has to be there in order for the medicine to work. Otherwise, you can have the best medicines, the best doctors, but unless you have mercy, it's just not going to work. So our first duty is to get the mercy of the Vaishnavas and Guru and Guranga, and then health will naturally follow.
The secret, just one more minute, Prabhu, I'm sorry. The secret is not to expect Krishna to cure you. The secret is to accept Krishna's mercy, whatever it may be. I think if we can come to the position where we can accept whatever Krishna does for us is the best, whether he kills me, whether he cures me, whichever way he wants to take it, as long as we're able to surrender to that process, I think that will help your mindset and in terms of acceptance of wherever things go.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, one has to accept whatever Krishna wants, and he wants definitely the best for us, whether that means that one gets cured or not. Krishna wants the best for the soul, whatever is best for our spiritual well-being. It might not be always our physical well-being, but spiritual well-being of the soul is more important. And sometimes one needs to go through some sort of suffering in order to get purified, for the soul to make progress.
Okay.
All right, let us.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. It's already 7:30. So let us read a little more. We don't need to go exactly to 8, but little more maybe. Subhadra Mataji was the first one. Oh, the Gunaraj Prabhu is there. I didn't even see him. Sorry, Gunaraj Prabhu, can you please
Yes,
read if you're there?
Yes, bro. Pumso varsha satam ye ayus tad hardam chajitatmanah nishkalam yad ashauраtyam setendam prapitastamah. Translation. Every human being has a maximum duration of life of 100 years. But for one who cannot control his senses, half of those years are completely lost because at night he sleeps 12 hours, being covered by ignorance. Therefore, such a person has a lifetime of only 50 years. Purport. Lord Brahma, a human being, and an ant all live for 100 years, but their lifetimes of 100 years are different from one another. This world is a relative world, and its relative moments of time are different. Thus, the 100 years of Brahma are not the same as the 100 years of a human being. From Bhagavad Gita, we understand that Brahma's daytime of 12 hours equals 4.3 million times 1000 years. Sahasraiva Paryantam Hagaryad Brahmano Vidu. Thus, the Varsha Satam or 100 years are relatively different according to time, person, and circumstances. As far as human beings are concerned, the calculation given here is right for the general public. Although one has a maximum of 100 years of life, by sleeping one loses 50 years. Eating, sleeping, sex life, and fear are the 4 bodily necessities. But to utilize the full duration of life, a person desiring to advance in spiritual consciousness must reduce these activities. That will give him an opportunity to fully use his lifetime. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, the way in which one wastes one life is described.
So here we have a interesting statement, duration, maximum duration of life of 100 years. But nowadays, we hardly hear about somebody who lives up to 100. How many 100 years old people around that you know or that you knew in the past personally? I don't remember actually anybody that I met that lived 100 years. Generally, it's 70, 80, if somebody is lucky, 90, 100 is very rare. And here and there you have few people that enter Guinness World Book of Records living 110 or 112 years. I remember some lady from Japan or something, and then they were asking her, what is your secret of long life? And then she would say something, no worry, no stress, this, that. But actually it was just her karma. Nobody can really, imitate that. Whatever is fixed for you, that's it. Of course, by, good habits, you can increase it a little bit or decrease it by bad habits. But generally what is already predestined, it is there. And for most of the people, 100 is too long, especially in this 21st century where everything is polluted. Previously, 100 years ago or something, the food, the environment, everything was much less polluted. Now, there is something called microplastic that is everywhere from so much plastic garbage in the world. That plastic that cannot be decomposed enters into the water, into the food, in everything. And we are just, drinking, eating it unnoticeably in the small microscopic particles of plastic. And they enter the internal organs, the liver. And how long then one can expect to live with such pollution everywhere that cannot be avoided? Not to speak about the polluted air, not to speak about the pesticides that everything is sprayed, all the vegetables and fruits, which is almost unavoidable. Even if you try to eat organic, it's unavoidable. Yeah, so that's why we should not expect more than 80 max, I would say. And we should be already ready by 70. We should be ready for living by 70. So we should see how much we have left. And then sleeping, 12 hours, okay, one might not sleep 12 hours, but 6 to 7 hours is most of the people that I know that they sleep. Not many sleep like Prabhupada, just 2 hours. For this, you need to be in another platform to sleep 2 hours. So even if you sleep 6 to 7 hours, that's 1/3 of a life is finished. So even if you live 80 years or 90 years, 1/3 of life, 30 years is just gone on sleeping. And then first part of the life when one is young, he doesn't take his age very seriously. But as soon as one crosses 40 or comes to 50, the years fly much, much, much faster. And yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I was thinking, oh, when will that be when I'm 18? Just wanted to be, independent 18. But and it looked like ages, I was maybe 10. I was thinking, oh my God, it looks like another lifetime till I reach 18. But now, 1 year is like 1 month. Okay. Anybody has anything else here? If not, okay, we can go back maybe. Subhada Mataji, you can read one more.
Yes, Prabhu. Muktasya balya kaishore kridato yati vimshati jaraya trashta dehasya yati akalpasya vimsati. In the tender age of childhood, when everyone is bewildered, one passes 10 years. Similarly, in boyhood, engaged in sporting and playing, one passes another 10 years. In this way, 20 years are wasted. Similarly, in old age, when one is an invalid, unable to perform even material activities, one passes another 20 years wastefully. Purport. Without Krishna consciousness, one wastes 20 years in childhood and boyhood and another 20 years in old age, when one can't perform any material activities and is full of anxiety about what is to be done by his sons and grandsons and how one's estate should be protected. Half of these years are spent in sleep. Furthermore, one wasted another 30 years sleeping at night during the rest of his life. Thus, 70 out of 100 years are wasted by a person who does not know the aim of life and how to utilize this human form. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Kridata means playing with other boys and girls.
So playing is the one way of wasting time.
Yeah.
Sleeping is another way of wasting time. But we have to sleep to maintain the body, but one should not sleep too much. This is the point. And then how much? And too less, yeah. And how much we also spend, eating, preparing. Okay, you can say you're preparing prasad and offering to the deities, but still, so much, and just shopping and all these bodily activities, taking bath. So much, is done to maintain the body. So much time and effort is needed just to maintain the body. And then what is the time left for purely, Krishna conscious activities, for Shravan and Kirtan? Not much time. So we have to have the right priorities, what is the most important. So that's why, when the devotees get up, first thing you want to go and see the deities or chat your rounds. You don't want to read newspapers first thing when you get in the morning and waste time some other way. Yeah. Okay. Who is next? Dhanashri Mataji?
Hare Krishna. Yes, I am.
Can you read?
Yes, I can read. Dua purina kamena mohena cha balisyasya sisamgrishu sakstasya pamatasya payatihi. One whose mind and senses are uncontrolled becomes increasingly attached to family life because of insatiable lusty desires and very strong illusion. In such a madman's life, the remaining, there is one line that I cannot see. Oh, the remaining years are also wasted because even during those years, he cannot engage himself in devotional service. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is the account of 100 years of life. Although in this age, a lifetime of 100 years is generally not possible, even if one has 100 years, the calculation is that 50 years are wasted in sleeping, 20 years in childhood and boyhood, and 20 years in invalidity, yara, vyadi. This leaves only a few more years, but because of too much attachment to household life, those years are also spent with no purpose, without God consciousness. Therefore, one should be trained to be a perfect brahmachari in the beginning of life, and then to be perfect in sense control, following the regulative principles, if one becomes a householder. From household life, one is ordered to accept vanaprastha life and go to the forest and then accept sannyas. That is the perfection of life. From the very beginning of life, those only for sense gratification. Oh.
Those who are Ajitendriya.
Yes, okay. Those who are Ajitendriya, who cannot control their senses, are educated only for sense gratification, as we have seen in the Western countries. Thus, the entire duration of life of even 100 years is wasted and misused, and at the time of death, one transmigrates to another body, which may not be human. At the end of 100 years, one who has not acted as a human being in a life of tapasya, austerity, and penance must certainly be embodied again in a body like those of cats, dogs, and hogs. Therefore, this life of lusty desires and sense gratification is extremely risky. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sisam means the remaining lifespan. Shesham.
Shesham.
Okay.
Yes, so we mentioned earlier how Jad Bharat, not Jad Bharat, his Maharaj Bharat was born as a deer. Somehow he got degraded from human form of life to the body of a deer. But because he performed devotional service, his memory was still there. So it was just a temporary setback. But for people who are in ignorance, who are in animal consciousness, They're just born in an animal body, and they don't remember anything, and they just behave like, whatever the body they got, a dog or a cat, because previously they acquired the consciousness of a dog and cat. And now in the West, you see it sometimes in the streets. People, sometimes it's many of them, 30, 40, 50 people dressed as dogs, and walking on all fours, with their hands. And then there is another man who has a leash, and he is, holding them and leading them. Sometimes there are these sort of manifestations. They want to be dogs. They physically behave like dogs. So you can imagine that their consciousness is like dogs. And what is going to their be next body? The body of a dog, or whatever animal they pretend to be. And this is not going to be very, very nice life. People are just ignorant. They think, oh, it's nice to be some, nice dog. It's actually life full of suffering. Animal life is life full of suffering. And the only thing you can think of is food and perhaps sex. These are the only two things that are present there in animal life. So one should do whatever he can, develop higher consciousness, spiritual consciousness, to rise above the basic animal consciousness, in order not to be degraded in the next life. Yeah. Okay. 6, 7, 9. Who is the next? Chaturamat? Oh, she is.
Yeah.
Are you there? Okay. Please read.
Ko grehesho puma satam amanan ajitejiyaha sneha pasha jihe batan usaheta vimochitan chitun. Translation: one person too attached to household life due to being unable to control his senses can liberate himself. An attached householder is bound very strongly by roles of affection for his family, wife, children, and other relatives. Purport: Prahlad Maharaj's first proposal was Komara Karepajno Taman Bhagavatan Iha Srimad Bhagavatam 7.61. One who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. Taman Bhagavatam means the religious principle of reviving our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For this purpose, Krishna personally advises Sarvatamam Parityaja Man Ekam Saranam Raja. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Give up all other duties and surrender unto me. While in the material world, we manufacture so many duties in the name of so many reasons. But our actual duty is to free ourselves from the circle of birth, death, old age, and disease. For this purpose, one must first be liberated from material bondage. and especially from household life. Household life is actually a kind of license for a materially attacked person by which to enjoy sense gratification under regulatory principles. Otherwise, there is no need of entering household life. Before entering household life, one should be trained as a brahmachari, living under the care of the guru, whose place is known as the Gurukula. Brahmachari, Gurukula, Vasantantu Guru Hitam. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.12.1. From the very beginning, a brahmachari is trained to sacrifice everything for the benefit of the guru. A brahmachari is advised to go begging alms door to door, addressing all women as mother, and whatever he collects goes to the benefit of the guru. In this way, he learns how to control his senses and sacrifice everything for the guru. When he is fully trained, if he likes, he is allowed to marry. Thus, he is not an ordinary grihastha who has learned only how to satisfy his senses. A trained grihastha can gradually give up household life and go to the forest to become increasingly enlightened in spiritual life and at last take sannyasa. Prahlad Maharaj explained to his father that to be freed from all material anxieties, one should go to the forest. Hitatma patan griham antakupan. One should give up his household, which is a place for going further and further down into the darkest regions of material existence. The first advice, therefore, is that one must give up house. The first advice, therefore, is that one must give up household life, grihan and tan kupan. However, if one prefers to remain in the dark well of household life because of uncontrolled senses, he becomes increasingly entangled by ropes of affection for his wife, children, servants, house, money, and so on. Such a person cannot attain liberation from material bondage. Therefore, children should be taught from the very beginning of life to be first-class brahmacharis. Then it will be possible for them to give up household life in the future. To return home, back to Godhead, one must completely free from material attachment. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga means Vairagya Vidya, the art that can help one develop a distaste for material enjoyment. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayogitaha Jana Yati Ashu Varagyam Janam Chaya Tahe to come. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna, one immediately acquires causeless knowledge and detachment from the world. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.7. If one engages in devotional service from the beginning of life, he easily attains Vairagya Vidya or a Shakti, detachment, and becomes Jitendriya, the controller of his senses. One who perfectly engages in devotional service is therefore called Goswami or Swami, master of the senses. Unless one is master of the senses, he should not accept the renounced order of life, sannyasa, a strong inclination for sense enjoyment is the cause of the material body. Without full knowledge, one cannot be unattached to material enjoyment. But as long as one is not in that position, one is not fit to return home back to Godhead. Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur, even though the person may realize that he should worship Krishna, he is unable to do so. Therefore, from the Kumara age, one should begin worshipping the Lord. One can perfect one's worship only by producing attachment to worship and by being unattached to anything else. There is no other method.
So yeah, even one may, realize that, the life is short and he should worship Krishna still. He might not be able to do so because he thinks so many other things are there that he needs to finish first. So let me just finish this, let me finish this. But that never ends. Somebody wanted to say something, Dhanashree Mata, or somebody?
Yes, I just wanted to know, what is Kumara age?
Sorry?
Kumara
Kumara.
age. Therefore,
Kumara age. Kumara age is from from birth to the age of 5. When Krishna was, from like a baby to the age of 5. Then comes Pauganda from 5 to 10, and then goes Kishora from 10 to 15, and then after 15 is Yovana or youth. So
okay.
Kumara age is just very early age.
Okay.
Which is basically baby and toddlers age. So even from that very tender age, according to Bhagavatam, one should start worshiping the Lord. But generally, we are not very conscious at that age. We just
Even whilst in the womb, Prabhu.
yeah. But I think my first memories of myself as a child, I don't know if it goes maybe when I was 3 or something. First couple of years, I just don't remember. It's even difficult to remember this first couple of years. You're just born in a new body and everything is so new, and somehow you're not very conscious generally, unless somebody is already advanced soul, like Prahlad Maharaj, who was conscious already in a womb, as you say. But yeah, as soon as possible, one should start. I should not delay. One should not waste time. This is the whole, the message of this series of verses. And Goswami, that one needs to control his senses in order to be able to engage in the worship service. One does not become control of senses just by dressing a sannyasi or externally accepting sannyas order. No, one becomes controller of the senses by fully engaging the senses in the service of the Hrishikesh, the master of the senses. So it's not necessary that one has to be in sannyas ashram in order to control his senses, to become Jitendriya. Yeah, what else here? Anybody? Griham Andakupa, this is the famous deep, dark well. Andakupa is deep, dark well of Griha, of family life. Which generally family life means unrestricted sense gratification, Griha Medi life. But Grihastha life is supposed to be ashram, means that one is situated in that Grihastha life with the purpose of making spiritual progress. and that his senses are also controlled, even in Grihastha life. Although it might be more difficult because there's so many entanglements, you know, the children are there, and you have to think about livelihood and maintenance and so many things. One my friend, he told me that his wife and two small kids, they went to Europe for 2 months, and he was already on the verge of breaking, but somehow by Christ's grace they went for holiday without him, so he could recover a little bit. And he said, you know, he really needed it because it's so intense, you know, with the small children. It's very intense. It's difficult, you know, to chant and do your sadhana and all other things. The Grihastha life is not easy, especially when the children are small. So somehow or other we need to survive till Vanapara stage, till the children are grown up, and then we can fully focus on spiritual life. Yeah, anything else here? Otherwise we can stop. It's already close to 8. Not, we can continue next week from 10th. So everybody here next Wednesday is okay for you?
Yes,
there-
Prabhu.
Yes,
It-
yes.
Can we keep it at 6 o'clock? You think 6 o'clock would be okay?
Yes.
Yes.
And we are more involved in the class, so it makes it go faster.
Yeah, you make good fast and you don't fall asleep.
Yes.
Yeah, I would like it to be more interactive, that you participate more.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you all.
The time
Okay,
goes
thank you.
fast.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah. Thank you all very much, and we'll see you
Thank you.
next Wednesday. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.